So today marks the 10th anniversary of King of the Railway, well, in the UK at least, and what is technically the beginning of the Renaissance, as some of you people may call it. And today, I'm here to give you my thoughts on the movie. As per usual with these, I'll give out a brief summary for those interested, then discuss the stuff I liked, what I didn't like, and then give my final rating. So, let's begin. An old friend of Sir Tom Haddon named Sir Robert Normanby comes back to Sodor after traveling the world for many years to reopen Ulfsted Castle. Thomas, Percy, and James all help restore the castle to its former glory. Along the way, they meet some old and new friends, one of which is one of the first steam engines ever built, Stephen. The Earl brought him back for a special job working at Ulfsted and tells Thomas and the others not to tell him just yet. And in typical Thomas fashion, he ends up telling Stephen that the Earl has a special job for him, and he eventually goes out searching for it. Through trial and error, Stephen finds himself at a dead end, and, after a brief runaway with some Charlton trucks, trapped inside a mine. The engines soon realize that Stephen has gone missing and search the entire island looking for him. While in the mine, Stephen starts to run low on coal, and unexpectedly finds something astonishing. Thomas soon discovers that Stephen is trapped inside the mine and, with the help of Jack, manages to free Stephen in time for the castle's reopening. On the day of the reopening, the Earl shows everyone what Stephen found in the mine, which was none other than King Godred's lost crown. The movie ends with a race between Gordon and Spencer and Connor and Caitlin, with a song to play it out to. And that was King of the Railway in a nutshell. Now on to discuss the things I liked about the movie. The first thing that I'll say is that I really liked how they made Thomas, Percy, and James the main characters of the movie. Over time, I've grown to really appreciate the trio, probably because of my interpretation of them and how I've been handling them in my videos for the longest time. But also because this was really the first time where they showcased the three's relationship in full. For the longest time since the hit era, they've been promoting Thomas, Percy, and James as being the main characters of the series. Yet, despite all the promotion and images they showcase of the three together, they never really did any episodes to showcase their relationship. The closest I think they got at the time was with Thomas in the circus. Other than that, it's just been one of the three being paired up with one of the other. I can only guess it's because they didn't know how to utilize the three of them together in episodes, as it was just easier pairing two of them up. It didn't help with the more simplistic writing during this time either. So I'm happy that they finally did something with the three of them together in this movie, and I was happy when they did it again with the next movie, although I do have some problems with how it turned out there. The new characters in this movie were a lot of fun too. Steven's definitely a favorite for me and many other people. My least favorite is probably Caitlin, but even still, I don't dislike her. I was always fond of Connor for some reason as a kid, probably because of his design, voice, and livery. And I know a lot of people have problems with Connor and Caitlin being American engines instead of something more British, but honestly, I could care less at this point. As long as the characters are written well, I don't care how they look. They might not have done much here, but the stuff that they do in later episodes warrants me of calling them good characters. Millie and the Earl are fun characters too. Millie's among the more better written female characters in the CGI series, no offense to some of the other ones, and the Earl makes me wish I met someone like him in real life. Jack returns in this special after being last seen in Series 12, and upon seeing his face square for the first time, I was taken aback by it at first, like many other people, but I've since grown to accept it, and now actually prefer it over his circular face, don't at me. This was also the first time in which Mark Morgan narrated for the series, and he does a really good job narrating. His voice really does suit the series well in my opinion. I may not like him as much as Michael Brandon, but I still thought that he did a really good job narrating this movie and the rest of the series until Big World Big Adventures. The songs in King of the Railway are alright. They reused the Working Together song from Blue Mountain Mystery, just altered to fit the context of the movie. I already liked the song before, so I didn't mind it being reused here, but I do still prefer the Blue Mountain Mystery version. Searching Everywhere is just okay. I can listen to it just fine, but when binge-watching Thomas songs, I'll just skip it. It's Gonna Be a Great Day is a banger, and I'm just gonna say it now, the demo version of the song sucks, and I hate listening to it. Really grateful that they didn't use that version. Final things I'll say I liked is the little joke about Henry not needing to use special coal anymore since he had been doing so from the hit to the end of the Nigerian era. The whole flashback with King Godred as well as Stephen's past was nicely animated. Also, it was nice to get some added solar lore to the series with those. And it was nice seeing Gore and Spencer get some screen time together. Also, this may be a bit random to say, but I get a kick out of the brief moments of bouncing used in the scene here, just because it was a sign of what was to come years later. Other than that and a few other minor things, I can't think of much else to praise, so now I'll get on to the negatives. Now, this was the first special to be animated by ARC Productions, and while their animation gradually improves by every season and special, they definitely didn't start out great. And I know some people already have problems with Nigerian's animation for its dull lighting, but I'd argue that it looks better than ARC's animation for his movie and the season following it. It isn't horrible by any means, but it's probably on par in terms of quality with Nigerian's animation in Hero of the Rails and Series 13, at least in my opinion. The film does feel a bit messy with all the subplots they have going on. It doesn't distract from my viewing experience, but I can see it going that way for some. The whole climax near the end with the bridge towards the mine giving away and Stephen almost falling felt pretty pointless, especially since it lasted for literally under a minute, and if Stephen did fall, he probably wouldn't be too damaged, but I guess maybe he would have given he's an older engine. I don't know. And my last gripe with the movie that I'll mention, are Thomas Percy and Toby time travelers? Where the hell did they come from? And that's about it for my negatives. Truthfully, I don't have much to discuss about this movie. Despite me not listing off many negatives, it's probably somewhere close to the middle where I would rank it on my least favorite Thomas movies. Like a lot of other movies, I used to enjoy King of the Railway a lot more when I was younger, but over time I have since begun to see more of its flaws, though nothing major for me to call it a bad or even an okay movie. So, with that all said, my final rating for King of the Railway is going to be a 6 or 6.5 out of 10, which is around my same score for Hero of the Rails. And for those of you who remember my review on Missy Island Rescue from 3 years back, would know that I ranked that movie a 7 out of 10. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this review. I hope the 76 of you who are bound to put a like on this video liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.